Well, live performances this evening and tomorrow night in Longford. It's the 60th anniversary of the Longford Rodeo, and KCOY got a chance to talk with a name that's been around the Longford Rodeo for many years, Bronk Rumford. He had a chance to talk about the first time he remembers visiting Longford.
Oh, heavens. You know what? I can remember Longford Rodeo way back, way back. And actually I rode there when I was maybe 4.5 years old, the first time I ever rode at Longford. Oh, I can remember coming to Longford and, that big pasture and just beautiful, that grassland up there and the rodeo, and that there's not a lot for motel accommodations there. So we would always stay with the Burgermeyers out there west of town. And, of course, Fritz, he's big in the rodeo. And the whole Burgermeyer family, Fritz's dad, Clarence, was one of the founders of that. But I can just remember just being like the old-time community picnic, where everybody come to town and visited and had a good time. And, I remember the parades. They still do the parade and then the rodeo, So, I can remember it a long time ago. I can remember my dad and Clarence. We'd get up there, and they would set up all night, visit and tell stories. It's funny, my mom and Clarence's wife, and I for the life of me cannot remember her name. But they the next day they'd be laughing and they'd say, well, yeah, Clarence and Floyd, they set up all night telling stories. They're telling the same stories they did the night before, but they still laugh at them.
Rumford went on to talk about his family being at the Longford Rodeo year in and year out.
I haven't missed very many rodeos there. I don't think they've ever had a rodeo there that some member of my family hasn't been there working. My wife still secretaries that rodeo, and a lot of years yet, I'm still there, and it's just still one of our favorite rodeos. They have that, over the years they've had that dance out there in the pasture and the street dance downtown, and it's just a fun weekend. But what I was going to say about the weather, over the years, the majority of the time the weather has been outstanding.
In a final thought on the Longford Rodeo, he said he believes crowds come out for entertainment, but also for a piece of history.
People come to be entertained. I always say, and we deal a lot in production. We do a lot of production things, and people come to a rodeo, and some of this is my opinion, but first off, a lot of them will come because this is part of our heritage in America, the West. We were Western, we were cowboys, and we were ranchers and farmers before we were city folk. And, if you look at rodeo and a lot of the things in the rodeo world, started up, out of the fact that America was a Western cowboy culture. And, times have changed, but people sometimes come, because they want to kind of go back to the, a little bit of the heritage and the roots, of America. I've traveled all over the world, and the most recognized symbol of America still yet today in almost all the world outside of America is the cowboy.
The Longford Rodeo begins tonight and will once again be performed on Saturday evening. Both nights start at 7:30. Activities center around the town as well, beginning at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning.